Well, hello, podcast listeners. I'm Ken Schneck, editor of the Buckeye Flame, Ohio's LGBTQ plus newsroom. And I'm the host of This News is So Gay, the newest must-listen in your podcast rotation. This News is So Gay is a weekly LGBTQ plus reporters roundtable where we will be discussing the LGBTQ plus issues at the forefront of national dialogue right from the actual folks writing the stories that you have been reading. Each week, we have a rotating panel of LGBTQ plus journalists from across the country. We'll be covering national hot-button queer news, like healthcare and athletic bans for trans youth, the defunding of federal HIV and AIDS programs, and overall threats to queer public life. Think Meet the Press, but gayer. New episodes are released every Wednesday. Find This News is So Gay on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Play Me or Fade Me. And thank you for joining us as always. Well, if you don't like people that get emotional, you may want to skip the next 5-10 minutes because I've been sitting here staring at my screen for about an hour and a half, trying to fight back the tears, trying to figure out what the heck to say on this podcast. But I alluded to it probably 3-4 weeks ago that I maybe was burned out. I was getting tired. I was feeling the pressure of everything else going on in life and felt like the podcast was a little too much. Then I got a second win, battled on for another couple of weeks. Then the losses maybe caught up to me. I'm not like a college basketball coach. It's tough to remember the wins, but the losses kind of stick with you. And I had some losing, and that's a part of life, of course. But 720 episodes in, I told the wife on Sunday, I think it's time to be done. She had me sleep on it for a couple more days and said, "Are you sure?" And then we talked tonight, and I said, "Yeah, it's time. I need a break." And I may or may not come back in the future. I may be back for football season, but at least for now, this is going to be it for a bit. And I just want to say thank you to all of you guys that let me in. You guys listen to me. You didn't need to interact with me. But every day when I saw the downloads and I saw the downloads growing and growing and growing, and I saw the cities that were listening, it meant a lot, and just greatly appreciate that. The consistency of you guys as listeners was tremendous. I know some of you made me the morning routine. When you walked the dog, you had the cup of coffee on the kitchen table, whatever it may have been. I appreciated you listening to me on a consistent basis. Gave you a couple winners, gave you plenty of losers, gave you a few vent sessions that I think we can all relate to with meltdowns where some games didn't go our way. But I had a lot of fun along the journey. Got to meet or interact with several of you. I know that if I'm going to college basketball tournaments, I have about 4 or 5 of you now that I desperately want to meet at some point and hopefully sit in a chair next to you and cheer on some teams and watch some games together. But consider so many of your friends now at this point from the interaction we've had. But yeah, tough for me to say goodbye, but I need to do that right now. And I hope to make some guest appearances maybe on some of the Kota Capper Sports Network podcasts. If they'll have me on, I told them, even though I was terrible on that last contest, when you go to my resume list here from the podcast of our accomplishments, I hit 60% in the NFL last year, 60.2%. And you listen to every single one of those plays on this podcast. You wouldn't have known that I won 60% at times because I had several bad weeks, of course. The year prior, I hit 57.7%, winning over 100 bets in the NFL. So back-to-back really good years from the NFL, hitting 57.7 and 60.2. And I'll say this, over my life, I've been a better college football bettor than the NFL. So that could have been just a little beginner's luck here on the podcast with the NFL. I'll probably lay an egg and hit like 30% in 2023, but hopefully I'll turn it around in college football to make up for that. Major League Baseball, hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't forget that. So regardless of what my record says I'm at right now, there's a lot of baseball to be played. And when the dust settles in October, I kind of have a feeling we would have been a winner on this podcast. I think I'll still be a winner personally. I think you'll still be a winner personally, I hope. Just stay in the game, right? That's the name of it. Don't blow that bankroll and have nothing left by chasing it on one particular play. But yeah, I'm looking at longest winning streak ever on this podcast, 7 days. I could never get past that 7-day number. And we did that back March the 21st through March the 27th of 2022. That's when we made that run. Other than that, I guess as I kind of wrap this up for a while, you go to how I end the podcast, manage the bankroll. So my motto at the end was basically from personal experience. There are times where I could do absolutely great, go on a run, and then I went crazy and I tripled up the units. I quadrupled up the units. And all of a sudden I burned the bankroll. Even though you look back over a 30-day period of time, I hit 55% of my bets and I busted out. Why did I do that? Because I didn't manage the bankroll. So that's part of the reason why in this podcast, I basically went the straight 1-unit play. And it wasn't to win a unit. It was to bet a unit. Really kind of limited my losses there. Felt like it was better for my psyche as a gambler anyway. And so I guess as I wrap up this podcast, I say manage that bankroll. And that is staying consistent with your units, knowing that you're going to have peaks and valleys in this business, and to keep a bankroll, to have a bankroll to bet tomorrow without having to deposit, be consistent and kind of stay the course with that. Also, come football season, don't forget a site like BettorEdge or any of those peer-to-peer wagering sites. I see the fill rates improving greatly on Major League Baseball. I'm guessing platforms like that are absolutely going to explode in 2023 when it comes to football season. I'm envisioning a situation where there are 200 plus open orders on every NFL game. I think we saw a number similar for the Super Bowl last year. And with the number of people that have joined the platform here so far in 2023, I'm going to guess that every single NFL game will have that type of activity, which means if you see a 3.5 number out there, I'm thinking you're going to get a plus 100 on both sides of that wager. So you're going to get the even money opportunity on most NFL wagers on the BettorEdge site. And for the most part, the rest of the peer-to-peer sites as well. But I'm partial to BettorEdge. So if you want to bet against me there, you still can. One of my other mottos was don't chase money. And I'll never forget this. This was the last time Georgetown went to the Final Four. Don't remember the year anymore. I had a great NCAA tournament, but I struggled in the Elite Eight. So what did I do? I turned around and I chased money in the Final Four, finished out the tournament basically going like 0-6 after I had won like 75% of my games in the opening 4 or 3 rounds of the tournament. I blew it all down the stretch chasing money and trying to get back what I lost in the Elite Eight. Then I quadrupled up and maybe even more than that, I guess, when it came to those Final Four games. So don't chase money. Definitely don't do it like in my situation. If I lose 4 games in a day, it doesn't mean I'm going to win that 5th game. That's for sure. I can easily go 0-5 and wouldn't want to chase it on that 5th wager and bust out once again. The other thing there, I guess, with that is I need to avoid losing 3 straight on a team. Once I lose 2 straight, whether it be betting against Shohei Ohtani, whether that be fading the Oakland A's, I need to hit the brakes and say, okay, tip my cap, realize they beat me a couple times and move on to the next. I don't need to keep going at it and going at it and going at it because I keep digging a deeper hole. That's kind of like back on the roulette wheel when I tried to chase black 14 times and eventually I ran out of friends with money to be able to give me more money to bet the next unit on it. But don't chase money either. And then the have fun. I have that in there. When you no longer enjoy betting on sports, you might want to take a break. That's number one. And then enjoy the challenge. You're going to have good wins. You're going to have bad wins. Enjoy the good moments. Sometimes laugh off the bad moments and just, like I say, tip your cap to them because that's the way it goes too. Sports gambling is not easy. And there are some great feats that happen in all of sports. And when somebody performs well against you, all I can do is tip my cap. I'm not going to be angry at my players because I'm the guy who bet on them. I'm going to tip my cap to the opposition and kind of shake the hand at the end of the day. And then if the wager size or the unit size is causing you too much stress where you can't have fun wagering it, do like I did. Cut your wager amount by 75%. Keep cutting it by 50 to 75% until it's enjoyable again. You may, for a little bit, look at it and say, if I had been doing that, I would have won this. Well, just look past that, get past it, get longer term vision there after a 30 to 60 day stretch and then look back and say, okay, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing now. It's more enjoyable. I'll say this, unfortunately, I was not a wise person. I bet way more when I was probably 20 years old than I do now. It's like the more money that I've made in life, the less I like to bet on games. And at least that's for me. I'm not trying to make a living off of this. I'm trying to have fun with it. And to me, that's part of the whole process, is to have fun with the sports wagering. But yeah, I'm just babbling here. I had no script. I had no outline of what I wanted to say. My number one goal was to try to probably get through this podcast without breaking up into tears. But 720 episodes for me. So many of you listen to a ton of them. I apologize for all the bad episodes. I apologize for all the losing cards that I put together over the course of time. But I appreciated you guys so much listening to this podcast. And I'll say it one more time. Well, I'm going to say this one more time, even though we didn't win on Sunday. I just like to say it because I always did the and that. Well, I'm going to do it. And that's a winner. I did that for Jack Buck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, one of my favorite baseball announcers growing up. I love to say that. And I hope that when you guys have a perfect card one day, say it for me and let me know about it. But I'll be off the grid just for a few more days, kind of dealing with the emotion of kind of stepping away from the podcast. I do plan to return to the newsletter, and I'll be doing that hopefully on a somewhat consistent basis. I'm not going to commit to it 7 days a week, but I'll provide probably 3 to 5 plays a week there. Come NFL season, once again, I'll come out of the woodwork for college football and the NFL. I love baseball, and I will have baseball picks out there. But yeah, from a podcast standpoint, I think that's all she wrote for me. Until we meet again, I'll say it one last time. Manage that bankroll. Don't chase money. Have fun, and let's cash some tickets together. Good luck, everyone.